There are plenty, but I don't want to be here talking to y'all all night. Well, I mean, I kind of do. It's actually kind of fun, and that's why I keep doing these videos. Hey guys, it's me, Sonia from Sonia W Coaching, and I am excited today because we're going to be talking about some daily practices that help you live intentionally, help you live like you're actually thinking about that you don't have all the time in the world. But before I get to that, let me introduce myself. My name is Sonia of Sonia W Coaching, where we help overwhelmed, multi-passionate women learn how to acknowledge, execute, and win their dreams. We're all about making dreams meet reality here at Sonia W. And it is just so important to me. Like, okay, this has nothing to do with the video. But the reason why I talk about having acknowledging, executing, and winning your dreams is because I know, as a person who loves to do all types of things, that my first step, my first struggle was actually acknowledging that I even had a dream, that I even had something that I wanted to do. And yeah, that was hard because I knew I had a lot of different things that I could do, and I love helping people, but it was to the detriment of myself. And I had to learn that I had to acknowledge that first. I had to acknowledge the things in my heart, the things that I believe that I was called to do to help people, right? And then I had to learn how to execute it, which that includes building your life plan and goal setting and routine building and all of these different things. And then I had to learn how to win at it, winning by practice, learning how to actually win by doing things over and over again, consistent with consistency. That's how I knew I could win. But anyway, that is like totally not what we're here for today. We are here to talk about daily practices that win, that help you live intentionally. Okay, so let's get into it. I got 3 for you. Now, there are plenty, but I don't want to be here talking to y'all all night. Well, I mean, I kind of do. It's actually kind of fun, and that's why I keep doing these videos. But I also like to keep these videos kind of short. So let me give you these 3 things that are daily practices that I truly believe are going to help you begin to live consistently. And just thinking through that even more, I love, it's this verse that I live by and that I just ask the Lord to help me with. And it's Psalm 90:12, and it says, teach us to use wisely all the time that we have. Like, this is why I'm so passionate about this, because I truly believe that as I prayed for God to help me learn to live this life out wisely, that I got some tips for y'all. So that's why I do this. But honestly, take that verse seriously. Teach us to use wisely all the time we have. In that same psalm, God talks about how we'll get David talks about this, and he says, Lord, you blessed us with 70, maybe 80 years. And then he goes on to say, teach us to use wisely all the time that we have. And it's so important when we live with intentionality, knowing that we do not have all the time in the world, then we actually get to do the thing that God has called us to do. Man, I feel this so much. This might be a video. This might be a separate video. Come back, because I'm still going to talk about these daily practices, but I'm probably going to talk about this acknowledgement thing because I think it's important. So anyway, daily practices that help you live intentionally. Let's do it. I got 3 of them for you. Both of them, all 3 of them start with M, because I was, being fancy, right? And they are movement, meditation, and mind dumping. Now, usually mind dumping is actually called brain dumping, but I wanted it to be 3 M's. So it's going to be mind dumping today. All right, let's talk about it. So the first thing is movement. When you move, you get your mind and your heart ready to do something about it, right? So daily movement helps you to really re-energize, and also help you to build a mind and a body that can actually sustain the things that you were called to do in this world. That's how you can live intentionally. Understanding that you have one body and we have to learn how to treat it and honor it in such a way, in a way that it will continue to grow. That's something that I am consistently and constantly learning how to deal with, right? How to understand that my body is my temple, and figuring out how to build a life that will sustain that thing. And I'm not perfect, but I know one thing, that when I do move every day, my day goes better. I feel better. I feel more energized, and I feel more able to conquer the things that I'm supposed to conquer in a day. So daily movement is important, okay? All right. Daily movement. That could literally be just a walk around the block. It could be Pilates, like doing different types of movement to stretch your body and stuff like that. Or it could be a real hard workout that you feel totally depleted afterwards. It can be anything like that. But make sure that you're doing something daily to move your body, because that actually it really is tied to building your mind. It gives you endorphins. It causes different hormones and different things to rise in your body, and that allows you to gain sharpness in your mind and all of those things. Like, there's so much science behind that. So really get in daily movement. The second thing is actually meditation. Meditating on, and for me, I'm really particular about this. Because I think sometimes we like meditate and it doesn't really do anything. But I think it's key to meditate on God's word, meditate on the good, and also practice mindfulness, understanding what's going on in your body so that you can build and react correctly to things instead of just allowing things to happen to us. Because in life, we do so many things that we're not even thinking about. We do so many things that when we go back or look back, you're like, wait a minute, why did I do that? And you realize that your body and your mind are literally just going on autopilot. So it's so important to practice mindfulness and practice meditation of some sort so that you really are able to pay attention to what's going on inside. It's so funny. Like, this actually happened to me recently. I was really trying to focus on learning how to practice mindfulness, and I'll give you a couple of techniques that you can use as well. And there was one time when I was fasting, and I was really being serious about this mindfulness practice. And I was fasting because I'm Christian and I truly believe that, fasting helps you. But anyway, that's besides the point. I was fasting, so I was hungry, wanted to eat, and something happened that wasn't that good, right? Like, it made me kind of sad. It wasn't even that big of a deal. Like, it really was not a big deal at all, but it did raise feelings of sadness in me. And literally, as soon as those feelings came, all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I should go eat something sweet. Oh, I should go watch TV or something like that. And this was a time where I was not eating or I was not watching TV on purpose. And what was funny is that before this thing happened, I honestly wasn't even thinking about food or thinking about a TV show or anything. But then this thing triggered me and I was like, oh, I should go eat something sweet. And it was in that state of mindfulness, I was able to say, whoa. Why did I do that? Why did I all of a sudden want something sweet when I wasn't even thinking about that a few minutes ago? And I realized that it was just a knee-jerk reaction in me when something not so good happened. And that was the gift of mindfulness. I was able to sit back and realize, oh, this feeling makes me want to eat. So food sometimes is connected to my feelings. Is that something that I want? And I was able to have that conversation with myself and decide what I was going to do. I didn't eat, by the way. So practicing mindfulness is really key to making sure that you know what's going on in your mind and in your body. A couple of things that you can do, and I sometimes do this, is actually literally taking a walk and noticing the little things that are happening, like looking for certain colors or listening for sounds, like actually going outside and listening to the birds. Or another mindfulness practice is actually taking a moment and concentrating on your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. And whenever things come up, you literally let them pass, breathe in and breathe out. And go back to breathing. Go back to breathing. And then at the end of that, you can evaluate, well, why did I think that? What was happening? One thing that my therapist actually taught me as well, yes, I'm in therapy because therapy and Jesus. All right. But she also taught me this mindfulness trick where you just draw a circle on a piece of paper for a certain amount of time. Draw that circle. And whenever you have a feeling or you have a thought, you make a little line inside the circle. Or if something externally distracts you, you make a line outside of the circle. And then when you're done at that time of your mindfulness practice, you see how many different distracting thoughts or things come about, and kind of think about, well, what did you do about that? All right, so those are a couple mindfulness tricks. And then meditation on that. Meditating on the word of God, I think, is just so key to building you up. Because you meditate on the promises, you meditate on the things that God promises for us, and that helps to edify or strengthen you in the things that you are supposed to do. Okay? And then finally, mind dumps, or usually called brain dumps. But again, I wanted them to be all M's, okay? So that's what we're doing, mind dumps. It's so important to continue to do mind dumps and to do them often. I studied this type of productivity thing called getting things done, or get things done, GTD method, by David Allen. And he said something poignant in his book. He said that our minds are made for having ideas, not holding them. So, and he talked about in the book how we have a horrible short-term memory. And gave the example of, you go to work and you gotta go to the supermarket, right? So you're like, okay, I gotta get milk, gotta get eggs, gotta get a couple little things. Or no, you just say, hey, I just need some milk. Let me just run to the store after work and get milk. So all day long, your brain is like, don't forget to get milk. Don't forget to get milk. Don't forget to get milk, right? And then you get to the store. What happens? I'll wait. What happens? You forget to get milk. You get everything else, but you don't get milk. Why? Because your brain isn't good at holding ideas. So it's so important to write things down all the time. That's another thing. But mind dumps or brain dumps are things where you take time several times throughout the day. I've heard that it's good to do a morning, lunchtime, and evening brain dump. I'll be honest, I'm not up to that yet, but I do find that it is helpful. So what you do is literally whatever is on your mind, write it down. Write every single thing that's on your mind to do, any task that you have. You write it down on a piece of paper, or if you got a note in your phone or something like that, you just write those things down, right? And then the next step, because I think people forget about that next step, is to actually find a place for every single task that you put down there. And when I say find a place, I mean, is it something that you can do right now? Or is it something that you need to schedule time for? So actually putting it in your calendar to do, right? So that is what a mind dump or a brain dump is for you, okay? So I gave you those 3 M's, right? The 3 Pseudo M's, because the third one is usually called brain dump. But anyway, remember, daily movement, daily meditation, and mindfulness practices, and daily brain dumps, mind dumps, because we're doing 3 M's. Those are 3 daily practices that are going to help you live intentionally. Okay? So anyway, guys, have an awesome week. If this was good for you, if you loved it, go ahead and like the video. And if you are like, oh my gosh, this girl is amazing, I need to keep watching her videos, go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe so I know it's real.